Hi everyone, Linda Heldman here for Canadian Beats. We are in Hamilton, CCMA Awards, Country Music Week, and I have with me Stephano Barberis. Welcome,
Hello.
Stephano.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great.
Good.
Was it last year or 2 years ago we did our interview?
I think it was
2 years
2
ago.
years in London.
In London.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. So, well, if we went from that point to here, you've got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
But for starters, I want to say we had the Industry Awards luncheon yesterday, and you just won your 11th Music Director of the Year award.
Yeah.
Is it Video Director or Video Music Director?
Video Director.
Video Director of the Year. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 11.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is happening. Yeah, I guess I'm never prepared for the speeches either, so it's always a shock, and I think I'm always too awkward when I go accepted. So I'm not expecting, because you think that every single year that you win it, there's a less of a chance they're going to want you to, win again. Mm-hmm. But it's not been like that, so I don't know what's happening. So yeah, I'm happy.
Everybody knows you. Everybody adores you.
I hope so.
That's
nice.
You're comic relief.
Okay.
With your posts on Facebook.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what time of the day. I don't think you ever sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a good sleeping pattern for sure. Yeah. And Facebook or all my social media is always on. So even if I'm working or editing, it's always underneath, like on my computers. So if I get like a notification, I feel bad if I ignore it. So right away, I'm one of those people that just can't turn it off. Even when I'm going to bed and I'm already sleepy, all of a sudden I see the thing flash up. I'm like, oh, okay, I got to respond.
Who's there?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel rude if I don't respond. But I also I think I have some sort of, who said this? I think Paul McGuire once said I have mild Tourettes. So I think it's true. I think it's social media Tourettes and mild stage Tourettes. So whenever I get on a stage, for some reason I have no filter, and I just kind of just blab whatever. And then later on they're like, "Do you know what you said?" Like, no, I don't. Don't tell me what I said. So.
And of course, in your acceptance speech, you had to bring up mom.
Yeah. Everyone now says if you go up there, you should bring up your mom, because it becomes like a tradition now.
Absolutely.
So now I'm like, as I'm walking up there, I'm thinking, I have a wealth of stories, because it's a Greek mother, right? So I have things that I'm wondering if I can say, and things that I should, it's things that are more like platitude things I could say that are like, but I just want to find the funniest things. So I'm like, okay, well, they want mother stories, and I have a lot. My mom is like quite the character. So is my dad. But for some reason, my mom has become this legend. It's kind of like probably bigger than I am. So. Yeah.
Yes, yesterday's story was, we weren't sure where you were going with that.
Yeah, I can't believe I said that. Yeah. So I'm kind of glad no one recorded that. Yeah.
So, you have done, how many music videos have you now done?
This is, I shot, I think Dallas Smith was the latest one I shot, and that was number 178.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's
a lot of music videos.
I remember when I did my first one, I kept begging just to have another one so I can say I've done a couple. And then I thought, well, I want to say more. I want to say I have 3 so I can say I have a few. And now I'm like 178, and I'm like, am I old? Like, I'm just like, I wonder what's happening here. Like, how do I have so many videos?
On average, how many do you do a year?
Well, I do around, I think, 10 to 16 a year. But this year, something happened where they were all bundled in 2 bundles. Like, I had, I think, 4 of them in December, and I had to fly to Toronto twice.
Yes.
And then, and that was very stressful, because it was during, I actually worked on Christmas Day, like editing Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. So we opened gifts and stuff, and then I went back to the editing thing. It was kind of crazy. And then this July, late July to early August, I did 4 or 5 videos in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And
that's busy.
Yeah, and usually that's within 6 months. So I actually got so stressed out. I had like health issues and stuff. I went to emergency 3 times. I didn't post. Yeah, it was brutal. I was so because I had to do 2 videos or 3 videos in Vancouver, and then before finishing them, I had to fly to Toronto and do Megan's video, and that was really cool. And it was kind of a bigger one. And then I flew back and shot Dallas's, and I had to finish all these before CCMA's, and then so it was a pretty crazy time. But yeah, I think stress and anxiety has a lot to do with your health and
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
So it really
Absolutely.
affected me. I love working, and this is like a gig career, so you can't really say no to people. And I don't want to say no to people. I love working, and I love my clients and everything. So I feel happy to get these. But sometimes when they're bundled in like that, and you got to work by their deadlines, not your own, obviously, because they have, obviously they're releasing the radio and they have their artists. So I can't go, can I give this to you in mid-November? They're like, no,
No,
the
we need
single's
it tomorrow.
the single was out yesterday, literally. So I'm like, oh, that means you need it like now, So yeah, the scheduling is the tough part, and the anxiety of having to always pull a rabbit out of the hat kind of thing. Because every time I do something, I want to make it different and reinvent the artist. So it's always sleepless nights thinking and hoping everything works out. Planning.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you win CCMA Awards, you win BCCMA Awards.
Yeah.
Are there others out there that you've won as well?
Yeah, I've won a Leo, which is BC's big film award. I've won is it ACMA, the Alberta one? I've won CMAOs. I think this became the 37th.
Oh, wow.
In total or something when you add them all up.
That's
or
really
something.
cool.
So I don't even know how that's even happened.
Well,
Yeah.
you must feel the love from the industry because
I do.
we
I feel
really
very
do.
fortunate.
Everybody knows who you are.
Thank you.
And if they don't, they obviously haven't been in business long enough.
That's sweet. I actually I feel very honored whenever I come to these because I don't expect anyone to remember who I am, and then when I get here and I have that kind of reception because I love everyone and everyone's like my big family. It's like they've adopted me.
Exactly.
Because I wasn't really a country person, and I didn't come from the country side of things at all. And for everyone to embrace me, because I'm not really a genre person. I like every genre. I like songwriting. So if it's a great song, it's a great song. Like there's bad songs in every genre, and there's great songs in every genre.
That is absolutely true.
So for one genre to come and accept me and embrace me like this, it is like a family. Like I literally, a few times I've gone to my hotel and cried because I was so overwhelmed. So it's pretty, I am very moved by it. And especially for somebody that wasn't, I'm not a country artist, obviously. I think I started doing rap videos. So country and rap were the two genres that really brought me in. And I'm neither really. I'm not really either of those kinds of things. But I love all genres as long as the songwriting is good. So yeah, I just feel honored to come here and to be embraced by everyone and just to embrace everyone. And I look forward to every single party. Because it's just, you get to see everyone and you have to make time to just walk around and people want to talk to you and you want to talk to them. And it's just such a big, you know how it is, because everyone loves you and you love them. And I know how, I've watched how people react to you and everyone loves you. So you know the feeling of just being it's in the middle of everyone's love kind of thing, so I love it.
I had to laugh because I messaged you saying, I'm in the lobby, and you said, I'm on my way, but you keep running into people and they stop you.
Yeah.
It's like me needing to go use the ladies' room, and it's like I make my way, take 2 steps, and someone comes up and gives me a hug, and it's got to be a little chit chat, and then it's like, so by the time it's like, okay, I really have to go now.
Yeah, I know. You gotta actually say I have to be here at this time.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, exactly. I've done that too. Yeah, coming here, it's like everyone, because the industry's all out on these streets here. So everyone that knows you is stopping you to congratulate you because they didn't have time in the convention center. So this last 24-hour period has been like, I feel like a celebrity. It's really weird to get stopped, and some people ask for autographs.
Really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Somebody thought I was some celebrity yesterday. Rami Malek. I'm like, I'm not. I don't even look like Rami Malek. It's like, because they saw people stopping me.
Right.
And they thought, he must be a celebrity. So, no, I'm behind the camera. I'm not a celebrity.
You get that, are you anybody important?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I hate when that happens, like in a grocery store. Once I was stopped in a lineup in the grocery store, and they knew who I was because I was in a newspaper in Vancouver, and they stopped and they're like, oh my God, I'm the biggest fan of all your videos. Like, you're magic. Everything you put out is magic and blah, blah. And I think the whole lineup, no one knew who I was. But that person did. Sorry, I spit on you.
That's okay. That's okay.
No one knew who I was. And so basically for the whole time in the lineup, everyone's staring at me, trying to figure out who I am.
You are.
But I'm not a celebrity. So that's always an awkward thing, because when the odd person does know, there's a handful of people that are into film or music videos or any kind of film industry stuff. And then everyone tries, like, who is that? It's like, no, it's just a director.
Yeah. Now, you have, I want to say, an alter ego for a side project that you do. You are also a musician.
Yeah.
And this past year, actually just a few months ago, you released an album.
I did. Yeah, it was my second album. I like finding creative outlets, and I find, because I'm an artist, if I'm not creating, I feel like, you know how a shark, if it doesn't move, it dies? Like, it has to keep moving. It can't sleep. I think that's, I don't know if that's like a real thing, but I read it once, so it must be true. On the internet.
Was it on the internet? It must be true.
Exactly. I think it was pre-internet, so it must be true.
Was it part of Shark Week?
Yeah. Actually, it probably was. Yeah. That's funny. But I like creating, and I've always loved, I was raised on classical music. So my parents raised me to things like ELO and Boney M and Nazareth and all those kind of like 70s things. And then when my first record I bought was, I loved Baroque, like classical music as a kid. Like I was like 10 years old and I was buying like Handel and Vivaldi and stuff, and they're like, why are you buying classical records? I'm like, and I was getting goosebumps from the melodies, and I'm like, no other, because I'm a melody guy. I don't really even care about lyrics, and I hate to say that, but I do. When I like the song, I want to go back and go, what are the lyrics? What are they saying? But I'm a melody guy. It's what moves me. I think it's the only language everyone's born with is melody, because even lullabies, like even babies understand music without even being taught it. So classical for me was so important. So that's why I like classical. Then I got into like synth pop and all that 80s kind of stuff with electronic music and analog synths. Like Erasure was always like a huge thing, and all those kind of bands from the UK and a lot of Canadian bands were great too in that genre too. So I was raised on electronic music, really, and pop music, and anything with a great melody I really loved. I didn't care what genre it was. So when I guess I was sitting at home once when I was living with my parents during university, and my brother came in because he would come in during lunchtime on his job just to have lunch, and a big Greek kind of family thing. And I remember he threw me a disc, and this was like kind of when the internet was starting. He threw me a disc. It was like music making software, and it was like a really rudimentary program. And I didn't like, what's that? And he goes, just throw it in your computer. And then so I put it in, and I started playing around with music. And I realized, I can make melodies, and I don't need to have a whole studio of instruments. And I just started playing around, and it was really experimental. And then I started releasing stuff, and I released the first album in 2013, and I did 4 videos, which were bonkers. My crews came out for free. I feel so honored that they did that, and I made 4 videos. And I'm Breathe of My Leaves. That's my artist name. And then I released the latest one. Make a long story less long. Editing, right? And so I released my latest album called Chimera, and I released the first single with my friend Jordan Gant singing on it, and it was really good. He surprised me. I had one song, and he listened to it, and he sent me vocals that he did in his basement, and those are the original vocals that I kind of like mixed a little bit just to kind of tweak a bit, and they were almost perfect the way they were. And I put it with the song because he sang to the song, obviously. And it was ideal, so I released it as the first single from this album, and I have about 12 or 13 tracks on it, and I'm releasing a second single on September 28th from it. So, and this has remixes and an EP and stuff. But yeah, I love music, period. I just love creating, and that's what that is.
And it does have that techno pop sound to it.
It does. It has an experimental melodic synth kind of. It's not. I wouldn't say it's EDM. Because all people are like, oh, you make EDM? Because a lot of like younger people, they just associate electronic music with EDM. But it's not really that. It doesn't have these big builds and things. It's more like it's crafted to have like the typical like verse, chorus, middle 8, chorus out. Kind of. It's more of a traditional pop structure, but being experimental within that, and melodies. So it's not really it's not bangers you can throw on although you can dance to it. It's not really dance music. It's more living room music you can dance to, I guess. I don't know.
And you had a CD release party for that you actually Facebook Live, if I recall.
You know, I was gonna, but I didn't do it. I kept saying I was threatening to do it, but then I got busy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, I wouldn't call
I
that
think
a
3
threat.
people would show up probably. Yeah, my parents probably, and you know, they were, yeah, no, I was gonna do that. I think I wrote that I was gonna do it, but I got busy with the music videos. So that's the thing. I don't really have time to go nuts forward into one thing. I just gotta, obviously my career is music videos. Because music doesn't make any money for like people like me, and a lot of artists unfortunately don't make a lot of money doing it, right? So I have to do my day job, I guess, kind of thing. So
well, we'll have to put up the links for that so people can at least check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I know you sent it to me. You were excited about it, and they're going, I hope Stephano doesn't think I'm putting him off, but life was just so busy.
No. I realized I saw how busy you were too. I saw you posting nonstop.
Oh,
I'm like,
my goodness.
God. I actually felt bad.
June was crazy. I got caught up, and then August I still have things from one festival I was at and a few interviews after that I still need to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're really busy. You're nonstop. I see you buzzing around here, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to bother her. I see you like flying around from place to place. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you have for, well, we're into Saturday of CCMA's Country Music Week. So we have
more parties
tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, we have tonight and tomorrow.
We
have the gala, which is, you know, the big thing. And then of course we have more parties tonight. Hopefully we survive those. and then tomorrow is the big awards day, the big, like the main award. And the
Ole party.
And the Ole party, which basically forget my name by the end of that. It's terrible. It's just an open bar till 4 a.m, and everyone's, you know, it's the last hurrah.
Yes.
And it's where you just basically
that is the party that everybody wants to get into.
It's really the party of the year for sure.
Yes.
Of parties.
Yep, absolutely.
And I because it's such a party, I stayed an extra day, so I don't have to leave on Monday, because I always find I suffer by leaving the day after, even if it's afternoon, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And I found like a good deal with like an airline, and I'm like, if I actually wait one more day, I actually end up saving money on this airline. So I did that.
Tuesdays and Thursdays seem to be the better flight days.
So I stopped. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I think there's a new like low cost airline. I'm like, if I take that airline, even though it's probably bicycle seats, I can probably survive the flight going back to Vancouver. So if it's Calgary or like west, it's not that bad to fly. But when you're in the East Coast, you want to just relax a bit and not fly out right away, kind of thing. Right?
Well, you have that nice 3-hour difference. So if you leave at noon here, it's only 9 o'clock your time.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still home by dinner.
True. That's the weird thing too. When you fly back, when I fly back, my sleeping schedule is awesome because I get 3 hours ahead here. So when I'm there, I'm like, oh, I don't go to bed at 5 a.m. anymore. I can go to bed at 2, you know, or something. Because you're like, oh, I'm tired, and it's when I should be going to bed, even though it's still a lot later than I should be going to bed. But it resets my schedule whenever I have to come out to Toronto to shoot something or to have like an award ceremony out here. It's great.
Which totally throws me off, because when I go out there, then it's like I want to go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Exactly. Yeah. And whenever when I got here, I'm like, oh, I feel so rested. And it was 6 a.m. But I had a weird incident in my hotel room and stuff.
You always have a weird incident in your hotel.
Yeah, there was a crack prostitute beside my room. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Bringing about 30 men in. And it's a great hotel, but I don't know what happened. So I was up till 5:30.
You always have the best hotel stories.
I know.
I don't know how.
I'm waiting for it to happen all the time, too.
You could write a book about hotel stories.
I think I could, yeah.
Or set it to music.
I think I could. Yeah. It's a good idea. It's just me narrating over the top of like techno beats or something.
Right. Hey, it would work. For you, I know it would work.
It probably would. Yeah.
So, do you have any projects lined up that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I have my very next one is a Dave Hartney video in Vancouver, and he's a good friend of mine, so that's going to be exciting. And I've been talking to some labels here, and they're kind of throwing things out at me. So I'm like, yeah, that's great. I'd love to do those, and I'm not sure 100% for those, but you know how it works. If it's, so I have to write on it and tweak it and all that stuff.
Do storyboards and all that stuff.
And then, so I got a whole bunch more videos coming, and I'm hoping to work on a first short film this fall. So that would be a really cool thing. So I can get into features and hopefully Netflix and all that kind of stuff that I've been wanting to do, and more music. more releases from the album. I just want to keep creating. I don't really care what it is. As long as I'm healthy and alive and creating and I have people I love around me, I don't really care what anything else. So that's kind of, yeah.
And you have all that. And
So far,
I'll add
I'm
one
very
thing
blessed.
to that.
Yeah.
More awards.
Yes, yeah.
More
That's
awards.
that's
More
gravy.
nominations.
That's a cherry on top that I don't expect ever. I'm so grateful for everyone for.
Well, you gotta have an even dozen, of CCMA awards.
Yeah, I felt like going like, thank you for this 11th, but if I don't get a dozen next year, I'll be very, as if I would do that. I don't expect anything ever. I actually didn't even expect my first one. I remember when I was nominated for the first time, and my name appeared with people that are massive, like Stephen Goldman, the late Stephen Goldman. When his name appeared next to mine, I felt like a giant all of a sudden, just because my name was on that list. And unfortunately, he passed away. And right before he passed away, we were messaging back and forth, and he told me he was living vicariously through my career.
Really?
And
wow.
I felt so honored when he said that. I actually cried. I didn't tell him that. I was like typing, and I'm like, but you're a legend. And of course he passed, and I think they're going to do a tribute to him at the gala, actually.
Oh, that would be
I was thinking they were going to do a tribute before the Video Director Award, but it makes more sense to do it at the gala. So yeah, that was a pretty touching moment. He was so important. So that's when I felt somewhat important, when my name just appeared next to his. So yeah, cool. The awards are great. Just being acknowledged is fantastic. I'm just so happy. There's nothing I can want more. So yeah.
Great. Well, we'll always look forward to your projects, the final work of your projects.
Thank you.
They're fantastic.
Thanks.
And I always appreciate that you make time for me to chit chat when we can
thankful.
get together. Even those late night chit chats online that we
I know
do,
that's true. You have some of those
back
too.
and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
Why aren't you in bed?
Yeah, I know. And you're 3 hours ahead, right? And I'm still not in bed. Or you're It's like, isn't it 5 a.m. there or something? Like, yeah, I'm editing. But
Always.
I know, it's terrible.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephano.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Not a problem.
Always a pleasure.
Stephano Barberis. Please, if you don't know who he is, 'cause like I said, everyone should know who he is. He's probably made your favorite video or connected in some way.
Thank you.
Definitely awesome. Great.
Thanks.
And I'm Linda Helpin for Canadian Beats.